Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this session. In the previous session, we looked into the Scoop, Apache Scoop, and we use Apache Scoop for exporting the data from HDFS into external RDBMS or importing the data from external RDBMS into HDFS. So we also looked into an example how we can do the export and how we can do the import. For that, we saw the example program where we created the three tables for the country, cities, and the country language, and we loaded the data into those country tables, and we did the import operation where we got the data from MySQL. For our example, we used the MySQL. From there, we got the data into HDFS, and it got into stored into the target directory. Okay, and the result was stored in the files, and how the files would be part hyphen m hyphen 00000. When we used only one mapper, when we used four mapper programs, we got four files starting from 00000 to 00004. So three, sorry, those are the four files we got. So in today's session, we will look into the next Hadoop tool, that is Apache Flume. Okay, and first we will understand what is a Apache Flume. Okay, Apache Flume, we can use it to acquire the data streams. Data streams, why it is important to acquire the data streams is maybe you have a web application, and maybe it is you have a web farm, means you have multiple web servers, and there are requests going into all these servers, and the logs are getting information whenever any operations that happens, we log into the web logs, and looking at the web log, we want to understand what is the state of the application, what is the health of the application, that we can determine. And these web logs are continuously, it will be getting updated, right? It is not like a one time. As and when there is any activity on the web application, it will keep on logging into the web log. That is how it is a stream of the data that we have to read, and using Apache Flume we can read that weblog. Once we get the data into HDFS, and on top of that we can run analytics. Apache Flume is an independent agent designed to collect, transport, and store data into HDFS. So it is designed to collect, transport, and store data into HDFS. Often data transport involves number of Flume agents that may traverse a series of machines and locations. So we might have only one Flume agent, or we might have a series of Flume agents that are connected to each other, that can be on one single machine, or it can be like on multiple machines. And Flume is often used for log files. The example I gave about the web log, social media generated data. So continuously, where there is a data generation, we can streaming of the data is happening. We can use the Flume to get that particular data, email messages, and just about any continuous data source. Wherever we have a continuous data source, we can use the Flume, okay, to get that particular data. And Flume agent, it consists of three main components. Okay, this is what you see is the Flume agent, and this is the web server. Let us say you are reading all the web logs, and you are storing into HDFS. Okay, so this particular agent has three important components. One is a source, next is the channel, and next one is the sink. Source is the one which will connect to the source of data. Wherever the data stream is happening, it will make the connection to that, and it will get the data, and it will push to the channel. Okay, there can be a single channel, or there can be multiple channels, and it will push the data into the channel. And this channel is like most of the time it is on memory, but it depends on the what kind of a design it is. If it is on memory, if there is any kind of a network problem, this data will be lost. So in that case, you can have this channel on the disk. The whatever the information that is data that is passed to the channel will be stored on the data, or you can choose to have it in a memory. The advantage of having it in the memory is it would be a faster. And from channel, it will be connected to the sink, and the sink will make sure this particular data stream that we are getting, the data we are getting from the channel is stored into the HDFS. We can have, I told you, we can have multiple channels, but we can have only one sink connected to one channel, and that will put the data into the HDFS. This is like you can see from web server to HDFS, we have only one agent, or we can choose to have a multiple agent where this particular sync can be connected to the source of the next agent, and so on. So one agent can feed it to the other agent, or it can feed to the HDFS. Source. So this is the source. Source component receives data and sends it to the channel. It can send the data more than one channel. The input data can be from real-time source, example weblog, or another Flume agent. So this source, it can come from a any source, okay, a real-time source which is providing the data, or it can come from another agent. And as we said, we can have multiple channels. And a channel is a data queue that forwards the source data to the sink destination. So it will forward it to the sink destination, and it can be thought as of a buffer that manages input, source, and output flow rates. And sync delivers data to destinations such as HDFS. So it can deliver it to another directly HDFS, or it could be another agent, or it could be another file. A Flume agent must have all three of these components defined. Flume agent can have several such sources. So we can get the data from several sources. We can have several channels and sinks. Source can write to multiple channels, but sync can take data only from single channel. I told you sync is connected to only one channel. There can be multiple channels. We will have multiple sinks, each sink connected to one channel. Data returned to the channel remain in the channel until sync removes the data. So sync is the one which is going to remove the data from the channel whenever it puts the data into the a destination, whether it's a HDFS, another agent, or a local file. Once it does that, then only that buffer will get cleared so that the source can put the data into the channel. By default, the data in a channel are kept in a memory, but optionally stored on a disk to prevent data loss in the event of network failure. If there is any network failure, if it is in memory, then we might lose the data. Scoop agents may be placed in a pipeline, possibly to traverse several machines or domains. This configuration is normally used when data are collected on one machine and sent to another machine that has access to HDFS. So you can see here we have two agents. Source, we are getting this is the first agent. Source is putting the data into channel, then it goes to the sync, and this is connected to another agent. So this sync will be provide the data as a source to the source of the next agent, and that data is moved to the channel and sync, and then this sync will put the data into any destination, HDFS or local file or any other agent. In a Flume pipeline, the sync from one agent is connected to the source of another. So we just saw sync from one agent is connected to the source of the another one. The data transfer format normally used by Flume, which is called as Apache Avro. So the data transfer format is what is used is called as a Apache Avro. It provides several useful features. Avro is a data serialization and deserialization system. So that is the Avro. The scheme is sent as a part of the data exchange and defined using a JSON. Whatever the data scheme that we have, that is sent as a part of the data exchange, and it would be in the form of a JSON. You already know what is a JSON. JSON is it is a JavaScript object notation. Uh, it will be sending that information in the form of a JSON. And also Avro uses the RPCs, that is remote procedure calls, to send the information or the send the data. This is an Avro sync will contact an Avro source to send the data. So in the example here, you can see here we have the Avro sync agent 1, agent 2. Then the data is getting sourced. So these are the multiple sources for this particular agent. Agent 4 is getting data from multiple agents. You can see here these agents are getting data from the web servers. Okay, and from web servers it is all the three agents are collecting the information, and it is passing to a consolidator agent, and from the consolidator agent it is getting stored into HDFS. There are many possible ways to construct a Flume transport networks. In addition, other Flume features are not described in depth. Here include the plugins and interceptors that can enhance Flume pipelines. For more information, we have to get into the this particular website, which will give more information. So just we'll see one example about the Flume. Here is the example. Download and install the Apache Flume. First, you will make sure that Apache Flume is installed in the environment, Hadoop environment, and this is the requirement. Here we have Hortonworks HTTP 2.2 and Flume version 1.5.2. Okay, so this is the website. If it is part of the distribution, you can install using the yum install, and if it is not part of the distribution, you can access this website flume.apache.org, and you will get the download for the Flume, which you can use for the installation. And also with respect to what kind of operating system, you have to follow the uh, uh, installation steps according to the your respective operating system. So if it is a part of the distribution, you can say yum install Flume agent. So it will install the Flume, and to make the simple example to work, we will also install the telnet. Okay, yum install telnet. Those are the two things that is required. Then we will do the simple test. Simple test of Flume can be done on a single machine. To start Flume agent, enter flume-ng. So this is how we will run the Flume agent. Okay, to start the Flume agent. This particular command, it uses the simple example configuration file. So this is the configuration file that will be read in order to understand what is the actual configurations about the sources, sinks, and the how it has to get the data. So flume-ng to start the Flume agent agent. This is the configuration, and this is the configuration file that we are going to use, sample simple-example.conf. Then the name, simple agent, and this is the logger that we are going to use, -d flume.root.logger is equal to info and comma console. So we will open another alternate window, and we are going to use the telnet. Okay, we are going to use the telnet to contact the agent. So in another terminal window, I'm going to run this command, telnet localhost, and this is the information 4444. So that is what I'm going to send. Now this is how the telnet it tries to connect, connection refused, then connected to localhost. It makes the connection to the local host. If the Flume is working correctly, the window where the Flume agent was started will show the testing message entered in the telnet window. Suppose in particular first window you started the Flume agent. If everything is working fine, if the Flume agent is running perfectly, then whatever the message that you have sent here, testing 1 2 3, okay, this message will be seen by the agent. So you can see in the info, okay, you can see testing 1 2 3. Next is the weblog example. In this example, a record from the weblogs from the local machine will be placed on HDFS using the Flume. This example is easily modified to use your weblogs from different machines. Two files are needed to configure Flume. These are the two files. One is for the target agent and the next one is the source agent. This web hyphen server hyphen target hyphen agent dot conf. This is the target Flume agent that will write the data into the HDFS, and this is the source web hyphen server hyphen source hyphen agent dot conf. This is the agent which will get the data from the weblog. Okay, it will connect to the web servers and it will get the data from the weblog, and the weblog is mirrored onto the local file system. And now we will log in as a root user ID, create a folder, make directory. In this root directory, we have var folder. Then inside that we have log, and inside the log we will create the flume-hdfs directory. Then change owner, we'll change it to HDFS owner because we connected it as a root. The minute you connect it as a root user, when you create a make directory, by default that directory will be created with the root owner. So you are changing the owner to the HDFS. Now next, HDFS user is creating the new directory HDFS DFS hyphen make directory. So when you are creating this directory, you have to log in as the HDFS user, and this is the folder you are going to create, user HDFS flume hyphen channel. So the directory is created. Now we will start the agent. Okay, target agent. Flume hyphen ng agent minus c conf hyphen f. You will provide the target agent configuration here. Web server target agent dot conf hyphen n collector. This will start the target. Okay, the agent writes the data into HDFS and it should be started before the source agent. So we are starting the agent target agent which will write into the HDFS, and this has to be started before the source agent. Next we will start the source agent, and this configuration enables automatic use of the Flume agent. This is etc flume conference configuration flume.conf flume-env.sh .template. So by default it is going to use these particular configurations. Okay, for this example, this particular file flume.conf is same as this particular file which we created. Okay, next we are going to start the source agent. Okay, we started the target agent, then we will start the source agent using this command flume hyphen ng agent, then hyphen c conf hyphen f. You are going to provide the file configuration file web server source agent dot configuration hyphen n source underscore agent. So this is the how we are going to start the agent. Now, next is we will make sure whatever that we are getting using the Flume is exactly same as what has been written into the web logs. To see Flume is working correctly, check the local log file using the tail command. Also confirm Flume ng agent are not repeating any errors. Okay, so how to check the file? These files, the log files, they are continuously written by the some applications which are running on the web server. So if you want to see what are the updates that are happening, you can say tail. Okay, tail space minus f, give the name of the file. So as and when the update happens, you will see those entries on the console. It will be showing it on the console. The contents of the local log file flume-hdfs should be identical to that written into hdfs. So now Flume is writing into the hdfs file, and this is the from the local file. Whatever the tail we are getting from the local file and the tail information that we are getting from the hdfs file, both should be exactly the same. That is how we can make sure that both the Flume is working perfectly without any problem. The target agent can be configured to write the file by setting some or all of the roll count. These are the some options you can set, so that suppose if you want to end at certain time, you create the file and you will end according to one of these settings. Maybe when it reaches the certain record count or a size, you will stop and you will start with the new file. This is how you can check what is the content of the file that is been written by the Flume. You can see hdfs dfs hyphen tail, and you are checking Flume channel Apache access combined. This is where we are writing, the Flume is writing into the hdfs, and you are checking the content. This content should be same as the content displayed by this local file. This is the content. This is how you are seeing the content of the particular file. So you can see some get request, post request. So since it's a web server, so we'll be getting the HTTP request. All those information is logged in here. So if you see the configuration files, so complete explanation of the Flume configuration is beyond the scope of this chapter. So understanding how the configuration file is written, it's not part of this, but some of the configurational entries we can see here. This is the source agent.conf. The following lines set the source. Note that weblog is acquired using the tail command to record the log file. So you can see this particular source agent configuration file. These are the some of the information: source underscore agent dot sources Apache server, then type exec, then source Apache server dot command. What is the command that is used? Tail minus f etc httpd. This is the log file from where this is the command it is going to execute the get the data. And similarly, further down the file, the sync is defined. The source underscore agent dot syncs dot avro underscore sync dot host name is used to assign the Flume node that will write to HDFS. The port number is also set in the target configuration. This is the target. This is the sync definition. Source agent dot sync avro sync, type avro, this is the channel, and this is the host name. Okay, and this is the port. Okay, this is for the source. So for the source, the port is 4545. Then this is the target conference target configuration file, web server target hyphen agent hyphen configuration file. You can see here, type HDFS. This is for the target, right? The target is it is going to write into the HDFS file system channel MC2, and this is the path. User HDFS flume channel / percentage log type, and the this is the timestamp. So we are appending with the timestamp. Then file type, it's a data stream. And if you see the collector, the target file also defines the port and two channels, MC1, MC2. One of these channels writes the data to the local file system, and the other writes to the HDFS. So we have one of the channel which is writing into the local file system, and one is writing into the HDFS system. So collector dot source arrow in port, you can see 4545. These are the two channels, and this is the local directory, okay, where it is writing the weblog. So this is the folder log flume-hdfs, and it is using for writing into the local file. It is using this particular channel MC1. The HDFS files rollover counts create a new file when threshold is exceeded. So as I said, these streams are these are continuous streams, right? It's going to write the data continuously. So we should have some means to rollover, right? We can have some kind of a threshold where we can stop, and we can create a new file. In this example, the threshold is defined to allow any file size and write new file after 10,000 events or 600 seconds. So here what is used is it has used the file size as 10,000 events or 600 seconds. Okay, whichever happens first, then it automatically creates a new file, and it will start writing into that particular new file. For that, the this is the setting that is used. You can see roll count 10,000. So it will wait for the 10,000 events, roll interval 600 seconds. So after any of this reaches, let us say there are 10,000 events that happens, immediately it will create a new file, or whichever happens earlier, 10,000 events or 600 seconds, whichever happens earlier, then it will create a new file. So that is how the Apache Flume works.